YouTube. Oh, nice windy day. Wife has got a headache. I should be up there trying to get the house spick and span for my brother who's coming in June for our stepdaughter's wedding. She's marrying a woman. I know some of you are probably going to say, why do you allow that? Well, can't choose who we love. Kind of chooses itself. I really don't care beyond that. It's not my choice, so I don't have to live with it. That's all I got to say. If they're happy, hey. So, my wife's been bugging me about doing a video about trail etiquette, and we're not talking about mountain bike trails or we're talking about walking and biking trails, usually paved. Some of them are going to be just soft surface, but usually you would think that noise that's coming from that vehicle, the guy that's in it's over 50 years old. You would think he'd grow up. Does it? But hey, it's his hearing, not mine. We ride quite a bit on trails that are designed for both walkers and bikers, and there's a noticeable problem with people not understanding that you probably should follow the same rules on a bike trail as you should driving. Stay on the right. Don't ride down the middle of the trail, kind of stuff. But it's not obvious to some people. Your state law might require one thing, but in Michigan, if you're over the age of a certain age, you're supposed to follow the same rules that a car does as far as riding on the road. People tend to just anymore, they've got their headphones in, they have their music going. It's a whole generational difference between me and most people, I guess. I go out to ride a bike for the silence, just the hear nature, but people seem to think that maybe they're treating it as just purely exercise and not a de-stressor. Now, cycling done right is a de-stressor. Cycling done wrong is just exercise. And some people get just having headphones in on a bike is pretty dangerous. I don't think people realize that, is that you can't hear things. If you're out in the wilderness and you're riding a bike, say in a wooded trail that's in some places can be inside the city limits, I wonder how many people have been attacked by cougars that were wearing headphones, because I know you probably wouldn't hear them sneaking up on you anyway, but it definitely wouldn't help the situation. So here's what I do if I come up to somebody riding a bike on a trail wearing headphones and they can't hear me come up behind them. I yell. Now, I used to try to use a bell. And the problem with using a bell is most people, whether they're walking or riding, will try to turn around to see what the noise is. Whereas if you're yelling, I always say on the left or on the right, depending on which way they're walking, and I can see an opening. And if they don't respond, I try to slow down and let them see me so that they respond. Keep in mind that that can also be dangerous too. They can walk right into you, cause you to have an accident. But if they're not responding and they're not going to see you, go by as far to the left of them as you can, and don't slow down. Uh, there's those occasional people that walk from one side of the trail to the other and don't walk in a straight line, and for that, I guess you just need to stop right up next to them, and if you have to tap them on the shoulder to get them out of your way, I guess that's what you're going to have to do. But the etiquette of the trail should you ride on the right. If you're coming up behind somebody, give them some kind of verbal or a bell or something to let them know you're behind them, and don't wait until you're right up on them. Do it 50 feet, 100 feet away. Just give them plenty of time to react and get out of your way. Uh, Coming right up on them and then yelling, all you're going to do is scare them and cause more problems. So give them time to react, and there's the occasional people, no matter what you do, they're going to have their music up so loud they're not going to hear you. And for those situations, you have to use a judgment call. Uh, it would help if you're young to try to stop and explain to them that they're on the wrong side of the trail or what they're doing wrong, so that they understand that it might be safer for them to do it a different way. Sometimes kids aren't going to listen to you. That's just the fact. That probably don't listen to the parents either. But my suggestion to you people who are out there watching this that have some influence in your city, maybe is mark the trails at the beginning of every intersection with a symbol for a walker and a symbol for a cyclist, to give those people a clue what the rule of your trail is, because so often it's left open to interpretation of how you should ride on that trail. Um, and another thing that I've noticed is they don't make it clear a lot of times what what your what you should be doing on the trail. Is like they they just will say no ATVs, no dirt bikes, and no horses, but some trails don't allow any kind of bike other than a class 1 because they don't want you, for trail safety, they don't want you on that trail going 28 miles an hour down the trail. We have a guy in this Greenville Belding area that has one of those 45-mile-an-hour scooters that goes up and down the trail, and he beeps the horn, and he's maybe 10 feet from you when he starts beeping his horn that he wants you to get out of the way. Speeds off going 45 miles an hour down a bike trail. Might as well be a car. The so generally the only rule that's really firm is you should ride on the right. If you're going to ride in pairs, you need to keep one person on the lookout for people coming up from behind you and one person looking to the front. My wife has the mirror on her bike, and she generally lets me know when there's somebody coming up from behind us, and I tell her when I see somebody, because I have far better eyesight than she does, somebody way in the distance. I have a pretty bad neck, so a lot of times I ride with my head hanging down, and I'm watching the ground in front of me, and then I'll scan up and look ahead every couple of seconds just to see, and I'm looking down the trail a couple of 100 yards if I can see it, just to see if somebody's coming. Neither one of us have any music. We both take our cell phones, but neither one of us ever turns the music on our cell phones, because we both enjoy the same thing, the quiet. But there is a good suggestion that if you have some kind of influence in your local system, biking system, to get your trails marked. Even the dirt trails that usually at crossings have some kind of cement to let you showing where the roadway and the bike is. and it's just a simple bike symbol and a walking symbol on it. They do it in Europe. Matter of fact, in Europe, most of the trails are divided by a white line, and it'll have a walker symbol and a bike symbol on which side they want you to ride. Now, generally, they follow those rules pretty closely, so it works well. But I think putting a line on the trail would be excessive and expensive for the most part. Some of these trails are hundreds of miles long. So, but marking at the intersections or even putting signage up, simple signs saying what is expected of you on the trail as far as where you should ride would be helpful. I'm gonna roll in my review of my tire, the the Mission tire that I have on my bicycle. I've noticed something in the wear pattern that's different than what the Chow Yang tires are. My tire is wearing across the whole contact pattern, and I have 25 pounds in there, and I'm getting wear all the way out to through the whole middle of the section of the tire. But it's not excessive wear. It's not like the Chow Yang. I'm going to take you off in a minute and show you my messy garage. Another example of why you never let your stepchildren live with you as adults. They'll tell you, we got a few items to bring over and store, and you come out in your garage. We haven't parked our vehicles out here in a long time. A couple of the vehicles we've owned actually was too tall. Whoever put this garage door in didn't do it right, so I'm not even sure my truck will fit in the garage. But, so, I'll show you the messy garage. I'll show you these tires. So, let me make sure you can see them. On this Chow Yang tire, you hardly have any wear out here in these knobs, and all your wear is in these knobs. On this tire, they're wearing evenly. I barely wore the ticks off the tire now. 215 miles on it now, and by the time I had this mileage on my Chow Yang tire, it was noticeably wore. So the first part of the wearing was pretty fast on the Chow Yangs. I think that rubber gets harder as it gets older, and wear improves as it gets older. But the Mission tires seem to be wearing fine. Let me put you back up a little bit. So, if you're looking for a tire, I would still check out the Missions. Just be aware that you're going to have maybe it's more grip than I'm used to, but I'm not sure. I can't put my finger on it, but I got used to it by now. It'll take some used to it. It's definitely a different steering feel. So people are still commenting on why Lectric can't get a firm date to you when they deliver the bikes. There's quite a few views on that video. A lot of people just found it interesting that Lectric doesn't make their own bicycles, and most of the Chinese manufacturers, most of these electric bike companies get their bikes just about the same way. One thing you guys may not realize is there's quite a bit of lead time on. I didn't mention it in the video, but it's like 100 days from the order to production when you order a large quantity of bikes. So those of you that think that Lectric doesn't order the bikes until you buy them, would be wrong. Because if they did that, you would have to wait 5 to 6 months to get your bike at least. The 100-day lead time would be just for the production, not for custom clearance, shipping, and all that. So you'd be looking at a 6-month wait. So Lectric is ordering the bikes in advance. The problem is they're selling the bikes before they actually get them, so they never have much in their warehouse. The only time they have something in the warehouse is something that a color or a style that some people are just not ordering. So you, there's quite a long time to get for them to get their bikes. So to think that Lectric isn't ordering the bikes in advance would be wrong. All of them are doing it that way. And when they have a new model, then the lead time's even longer. So keep that in mind if you're thinking Lectric's ordering the bikes after you order it. No, they're actually ordering when they give you a delivery month. That's what they got told by a manufacturer as to when they plan to have the bikes done and completed, and the delivery time frame for the ship to get here. Oh, there was something else I was going to mention, but I'll just leave it at that. I don't want this video to be too long. But I'm going to try to get a bike ride in today. It's going to be late. We have my future daughter-in-law coming over to help with the wedding stuff. I should be in there cleaning the house, but there's so much wedding stuff in our upstairs right now that I can't get stuff moved around to clean the house. Karen's so enthralled in crocheting stuff and doing that stuff. I try to get her to start a YouTube channel. She does a lot of crocheted figurines, and she'll does superheroes, crochets hats, does all kinds of stuff, and she really just sells by word of mouth. She doesn't put her stuff on Etsy just because she says then people are going to expect a firm delivery day, and she is so backed up. She finally had to stop taking orders for a while. She had so many orders that she couldn't even, it was mind-boggling to her how she was going to get it done. So here I am. I'm to the point I can't do much more. I should go out for a bike ride by myself today because Karen, there's no way she's going anywhere. But being Memorial Day, I have to do the barbecue thing here in a few hours, and I have to give a kid a ride to work. And come June 10th, this thing's going on the road. We're not sure where we're going, but we're headed out. Maybe we'll take you guys along for the adventure. Between now and June 10th, I have to find the boxes for the bike. I probably have some that would work here, but I want something that's a little sturdier that has wheels on it so I can move it around. And there's a couple of videos on YouTube of people who have already did the discovery process and will tell you which one they went with. Got to get a haircut. This is out of control, and things like that. Karen I worked out all that work on her brake, and it still tings. I'm not sure where the noise is coming from. I think it's the rotor, but it's troubleshooting this at this point is I'm wondering if the wheel is moving on the axle, because I've done everything I can do short of take the wheel off the bike and look at the axle again and see if it's moving. I'm going to go over there and shake it, but I don't think that's going to amount to much. But it seems that the only way for that rotor to be moving would be if the hub is loose enough for it to move on the axle. So I hope not, because that's going to require, I'm not going to fix it. I'll let Lectric fix it. They can send me a new wheel if that's the problem. I'm not going to mess with it. But if, because her bike is squarely under warranty, and so is mine. Mine's almost a year old now, and hers we didn't get until the end of the summer, so she's still got a couple of months. So if there's a problem with that wheel, it'll be up to them to do something with it. I am gonna do another video this week of me changing handlebars, at least on one of the bikes, maybe both of them. We bought some Bucklos. They're 25.4 by 660 millimeters long. They're a little narrower than I wanted, but that 2 centimeters, which is 3/4 of an inch or so, isn't going to amount to much. So it makes them 26 point something inches long. And the ones that are on it, speaking of which, I'm going to measure them and tell you exactly how long they are. So hold on for a second. Let me grab my tape measure. "22 and a half inches. 22 and a half inches. So that's like 550 millimeters. So we're going to gain 11 centimeters, which is 4 inches in width. So we're going to gain 2 inches on both sides. If you measure your shoulders, mine are like 24. So if you look at your handlebars, let me move it a little bit so you can see what I'm doing here. Looking at your handlebars, your hands should be wider than your shoulders. You want to be like this. And what that does, it allows your chest to open up so you can breathe better. If your shoulders are crunched like this, or more like this, you're not breathing as efficiently, and it can make you so you become oxygen deprived. Your body's requiring more oxygen than your lungs can give you because it can't inflate all the way. So another side effect of having too short of steering, if you ever watch a video, you can find them on YouTube where a guy's got short little handlebars like this, and he does this and he goes flying over the handlebars because the wheel turns so much by a little short movement that it overpowers your ability to leverage that wheel back to where you want it. So the wider the handlebars is, the more control you got, within reason. Some of you might order some 720. They had two sizes, 660 millimeters and 720. Well, 720 was okay, but I think I would have ended up having to cut them off a little bit. So we went with the 660, and we're both getting the same size. It's got a 3-inch rise on it, which is what I think these have on them, and they're that rise is really not that important. You could go with a flat bar if you wanted to, but we went with the rise because you can pivot those handlebars this way to get your controls closer, or to make you set up straighter. If your hands are going to sleep, you need to set up straighter. So you either need to raise your stem and move the handlebars a little bit to get them to make up for that, and move your seat farther forward to get you closer to the controls. So there's your options. Short of coming up with a mount for a different stem, that's going to be the way you achieve your fitment. And the riser bars are made to be turned a little bit so that you can get that adjustment where you need it. So Karen likes sitting up straighter than I do, so her front handlebars are a lot higher than mine. Mine are, probably 4 inches lower than hers. So I'm gonna call it a video, go back in the house, do that thing, get ready for a ride. Should mow the grass, but I'm being lazy. Even with the riding lawnmower, which I just got. I got a Craftsman 30-inch riding lawnmower because I had a 42-inch before, and it was a pain in the butt to get in and out the gates. The 42-inch cut made it like 55 inches wide. So I have a gate here on this side and a gate on that side, and this lawnmower will fit through either one. So, and it was also the least expensive. The last Craftsman I had so much problems with mice getting in the engines. It was out in a shed out in the back, which got blew over by a tornado. That I finally just told the scrap dealer to come and get it. The motor still ran, but the transmission was one with grease in it instead of oil, and it got condensation in it all the time as it heated and cooled. And then your rusting's just crap that you end up having to tear the transmission apart every 2 years and re-grease everything. They're not simple, they're pretty complicated. I used to have to take a picture of everything before I started. So this one's in the garage because we don't have vehicles in here anymore, and it's okay. I may do a review on it because there's things on there that Craftsman or MTD could have did better. The steering on it is atrocious. But that's for another video. The tire wear, still, I'm going to recommend the Mission tires just based on the tire wear. They do have a aramid protection in it for poke flats, like from thorns and stuff like glass. But I'm gonna tell you and your Texas boys, hey, sorry about your luck. There ain't nothing out there that's gonna stop those Jesus bushes. I call them Jesus bushes because when I was in the military there and you stepped on one, it made you say Jesus and a few other words. So have a great day. Look for the video for the handlebars sometimes towards the end of the week for the weekend. We have a marriage. Is it this weekend? Let me look on my fancy watch. June. Not this weekend. It is next weekend. So look for the video for the week, this week, probably Thursday or Friday for the handlebars. It's going to probably be a fairly long one because it's going to take a while to take all that crap off the handlebars and put it back on, the new ones, and put it back on. But it doesn't require you to tear much apart other than remove everything that's on the handlebars. So probably a 20-minute video, maybe 25 minutes. I'm pretty fumbling fingers. Who knows how many times I'll drop the bolts to put the stuff on and off again. So have a great day.